Well, a very good evening to each and every one of you. Joining me, Miss Belinda Scandal and...
Brandon McCaffrey.
And...
Carol Ann Whitehead.
Carol Ann Whitehead, I know.
Phased in.
How are you, my love? Are you all right?
I am. I'm all right. Flower, stealing that from you.
Flower, thanks, cheers. Very nice.
Okay.
How are you doing? You all right? Have you had a good week?
I have, yeah.
What have you been up to? Have you seen anything good?
Comedy.
You've been what?
Seeing and doing some stand-up comedy at the Thirsty Scholar.
In Wigan?
No, here.
Oh, Wigan here,
Oh,
all right.
I was in Wigan.
What was you doing in Wigan,
I was
please?
doing a musical all about George Orwell because he spent a lot of time in Wigan. Got my book, The Road to Wigan Pier, signed by his son and everything.
He's by his son?
By his son.
God, he must be getting on a bit.
He's about 84.
Yeah,
He was lovely, though. He was lovely. It was a really, really good time.
He'll be grateful for the day out, won't he? Let's be honest. So, we've got a marvellous show lined up today, haven't we?
We have.
We really, really have. Do you want to tell what everybody else on the show?
Well, we've got a musical performance.
We've got a musical performance from our lovely Charlie Whittham, everybody, at the end of the show. We're going to be talking to him in a little while as well. What else have we got, please?
We're also going to be talking about, I don't know if we can see it, so we've got this lovely little beer right here.
Beer, everybody.
This beer called
Hold it still.
I Am Woman for International Women's Day.
I love that song. Love that song. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Woman, Hear
That
Me
song,
Roar.
I like that. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. Roar like a tiger, like a lion.
Terrifying.
Was that good?
Yeah.
That was almost Butch, wasn't it? What else have we got today? We're also meeting a gentleman called Stuart Lindon, everybody, and he's going to be talking to us about a brand new book that celebrates the wonderful world of the LGBT-ness, everybody, back in a certain genre that I kind of affiliate quite strongly with, everybody. So he'll be joining us in a little while's time. But first, though, our Carol Ann was lucky enough to speak to an opera diva the other day, weren't you, my love?
Yeah. I calmed down my divaness just to let her shine because she is an absolute legend.
And she's due to appear at the Lowry very, very soon. Where are we at? She's due to appear at the Lowry very, very soon, everybody. So let's have a little chat with this lovely lady. This is all about a bit of Carmen and Crystal E. Williams.
Opera North opened its autumn season at Leeds Grand Theatre with Bizet's Carmen in October 2021. And they're back at the Lowry on Thursday, the 10th of March 2022. This is Opera North's first new production of Carmen in over a decade. Directed by Edward Dick, it is conducted by Anthony Hermes. Crystal E. Williams sings Carmen alongside Sebastián Guez as Don Jose. One of the most popular operas ever written. The themes of Carmen, femininity, desire, violence, and dangerous masculinity. Audiences can look forward to unforgettable melodies such as the Habanera and the Toreador song. This new production turns the idea of Carmen, an opera by a man based on a book by a man about the downfall of a man, on its head, to look at the story from the point of view of a woman struggling to survive in a toxic, male-dominated environment. Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
Lovely to see you. How are you liking the north of England?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Honestly, the UK has been like a second home to me since I stepped foot on this land, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful time here.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, first of all, before we get into Carmen, because that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit, I want to find out about the little Crystal E. Williams. There she is. What was the first thing she heard that made her think, I can sing opera?
Oh, wow. Well, we, Crystal E. Williams, grew up in Portsmouth, Virginia, a large family, the youngest of 5, and my mom and my dad, they encouraged us to take piano and I took martial arts as well, and just be creative, be outdoors, be into all of everything basically. And so it was probably my 6th or 7th grade year of middle school when there was something called the Governor's School for the Arts was touring in my area. And there was this man, Robert Brown, who's since passed away. He was playing at the piano, and funny enough, he was playing the children's chorus from Carmen. And so he was singing. He was the duo of the vocal department at the Governor's School for the Arts at the time with Alan Fisher. and he was playing and singing, and this large Black man's back was vibrating, and I was drawn to the vibrations, literally. And so I was kind of hovering over him. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with these vibrations. And I asked the director at the time, Alan Fisher, how I could participate in this world of whatever was happening. And he said, well, you take this aria, it was Voi que sapete, memorize it and come and audition for us. So I memorized it. I always tell this story to this day. My entire family can recite all the words along with me. And I auditioned and I got in. Now, when growing up, I played Sunday school in church, and we sang in church. There wasn't a youth choir or anything, but I sang in church. And my parents, we had, everything from the Temptations, there was gospel, there was, whatever my older siblings, because I was the youngest, whatever they were listening to, some subliminally it was getting in as well. And then there were, we had CDs and PBS was on, so we'd watch. I think the first opera I ever saw was Il Trovatore, but there was Porgy and Bess. We had CDs of Mozart, and it was just a huge mix of music in my home. But I got the bug when I was accepted into the Governor's School for the Arts in my freshman year. We took a trip to New York City, and we went to the Tower of Records, and Leontine Price, fantastic, fabulous, one of the top sopranos in the world of all times. She was singing something on one of those monitors. I cannot tell you what she was singing, but I was glued to the floor. It was probably and undoubtedly in another language. This is, 13-year-old Crystal E just like standing there. And I asked the director, Alan Fisher, I said, how can I help people singing opera? Now, a little bit more history. I always wanted to help people. One sister was chemistry, one sister is physics, and I was going to be biology. So together we were going to cure all the diseases in the world. We were going to just, do everything and just be fantastic and help people.
Amazing family.
I always wanted to help people. And so I was a bit conflicted, and I asked the director, how can I help people singing? And he said, you can help them through the music. So that's literally what I've been doing ever since, trying to help people one note at a time.
It brings you to the door of one of the most popular operas ever written. How did this come about?
Long story, I asked Christine Chibnall, and she said, Graham Vick had said in passing, well, or maybe not in passing, but he said, well, if I were doing Carmen, I know who I would have. I would have Crystal E. Williams. And so I think that kind of put the bug in their ear. And so then I came over to have a working session with David Cowan of Opera North as well, and the director. And as they say, the rest is history.
Why should somebody come and see Carmen at the Lowry? What would be your advice?
Oof, my advice. I would say, first of all, it's a great piece of theater. It's beautiful. The costumes, the wigs, the sets, the music is fantastic. The drama. I mean, I love a good drama. Who doesn't? There's tragedy, there's passion, there's a bit of laughter. Not so much, but it is there. And it's, for me, Carmen embodies what we all would hope to achieve. That what we all think of as integrity and self-confidence and this kind of strength, this inner strength in spite of inconceivable odds. So you have this woman who, no matter what, seeks liberty, seeks truth, seeks everything that she's probably envisioned for years. We don't have her whole backstory. We don't know everything that's happened, but we know that we can relate to this woman because we all have a backstory that more likely than not, no one knows. No one knows our struggles. No one knows why we've made the choices that we've made in our lives. And so when we go and we see someone like Carmen, she embodies what we would hope that we would have in ourselves if confronted with a similar situation, that we could stand firm in our beliefs, that we could stand true to who we are and who we wish to be, that we could, in spite of everything and everyone, that at the end, we could hold our head up high and say, I am going to go out the way I choose, that I did not compromise, that I did not allow myself to fall and to fail. And that falling and that failing is not according to anyone else's mind, but according to my own. So for me, she embodies this light that we all can see and we all can relate to, that we all would hope that we could see in ourselves.
So there you go. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that,
It looks good.
La 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 la, la 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 la.
You clearly sing Carmen.
Wasn't she fabulous, Carol Ann?
She's fabulous. I'm going to opening night tomorrow night. I can't wait.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
Hey, do you have a favourite bit?
Yes. The you fall for me, I fall for you. That when she gets all sassy.
Oh yeah.
And starts shaking
I
everything.
literally don't know at all. I
Oh,
don't. But
yes.
one person that does know about music is our guest that joins in now. Now he's only, how old are you, Flower?
16.
16, and already he's got one of these wonderful sort of really heavy, wonderful, beautiful album EPs, as they call them these days, coming out. This is Charlie Whittham. He's going to sing out for us later in the show. But first of all, welcome to the show now. And tell us a bit about this lovely album of yours. Do we call it an album or EP?
It's more of an EP, isn't it?
It is an EP,
It's
yeah.
called Denial now. So what exactly does that mean to you?
So hopefully before I leave college, I'm going to do 5 EPs, and they're based on the 5 stages of grief. So you've got Denial, which is this one, and Soon is going to be Anger, followed by Bargaining, and then Depression and Acceptance, which equals to the 5.
Yeah.
It's just a project to do, and they're all going to be sort of different to each other to show any label that may or may not be interested that this is what I can do.
But what made you want to do this as a specific kind of task? Because that it's quite a strong subject, realistically, especially for a 16-year-old. So what made you really want to go for that?
I mean, I've had a lot of loss in my life so far, and I mean, I'm only young, so there's probably going to be more to come throughout writing these EPs. Like I've lost my grandma, my family is basically just my mum and my dad. So that's probably one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this.
And how did you go about creating an album like this, or an EP like this, or even individual songs? Where did you start? What's the creative journey for you?
Well, you got to write a song. You got to know what you want to write about. You got to be passionate what you want to write about. If you don't know what you're going to write about, then you're not going to get a song. And if you're not passionate about it, then if it doesn't roll out of you and it's stubborn and doesn't want to come out, then it's not going to be good.
And do they change? So they start off as one idea, do they end up as a different idea, or do they generally with you stay as one thing?
So sometimes you might be sort of adhering to one idea, and then it will turn an entirely different route, which is definitely what this EP is. It's very wavy. It's very like, you'll have a chill song, and then next minute it'll be crazy, and you'll be like, whoa. It's a very sonic journey.
So you're definitely giving people a bit of a journey to go on as to listen through it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listening to this song. What song are you doing at the end of the show for us?
It's called Honest.
Honest.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. In the meantime, thank you very much for
Thank you
now.
very much,
Stay where you
Flower.
are, though, Flower. Don't move, because we like to see what's going on all around Manchester. And Ash is going to tell us exactly what's on.
Here's your roundup of what's on across Greater Manchester. Kes is being brought to life from the 10th of March to the 2nd of April at the Octagon Theatre in Bolton. A moving coming-of-age story set in 1960s Yorkshire about how a young boy's life is changed when he meets a kestrel hawk. Disney classic Bedknobs and Broomsticks has made its world premiere as an exciting new stage musical and is enjoying rave reviews from critics and audiences alike. It's on at the Lowry from the 15th to the 19th of March. In need of a giggle? Why not join multi-award nominated comedian and proper proud gay Mancunian Stephen Bailey live at the Frog and Bucket on Wednesday the 16th of March. And taking place in iconic venues across Greater Manchester, Submerge Festival presents its first festival of experimental, international performance, music and visual art in the north, with artists from across the globe alongside the next generation of UK creatives. Remember, if you have an event you'd like us to mention, just drop us a line. Contact us at yourmcr.com.
Absolutely so much going on around
Always.
Manchester. And one thing that's happening this week is the launch of a book, which basically looks like a scrapbook of my
Your childhood, really?
my childhood. And here to tell us a little bit about it is the author of that book. This is Stuart Lindon, everybody, and he joins us now. Hello and welcome, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Very exciting week for you this week, isn't it? Launching this book.
I'm exhausted. I've just literally got back from Manchester, from London half an hour ago. You see, I don't even know where I am.
Which was what the 90s was all about, wasn't it? It was a very hedonistic time of living, and you managed to capture it with all these fantastic photos that are in your brand new book.
Yeah, well, it was back in the 1990s. I was doing photography for Gay Times and All Points North, and running around the bars and clubs from Birmingham to Newcastle and Manchester and Liverpool, and the one horse, what I call the one horse towns, you know, like Huddersfield and Barnsley and Oldham, and so I got to see everything from the big glamorous clubs to the small bars in local communities.
There really was so much going on in the 90s, and you managed to capture some massive 90s names, some big names, such as Boy George, for instance, and there was Julian Clary. I mean, these were massive names, and these were all people that were basically just joining in, and actually throughout your book, they actually say how important the 90s was to them. Yeah,
so we when I was editing the book, basically, I kept, back when I took the photographs, you have to remember, they were all on 35mm film. There was no digital cameras. And I'd kept the negatives. And I was so bored in lockdown, like a lot of people. You know, we've all got that project at home that we'll get round to doing one day. Yeah, we've all got that. Well, this was it. And I sat down and scanned all these negatives. It took me a year. And then I teamed up with a guy called Joe Ingham, who was my editor. And between us, we spent another year editing down the photographs into the book. Excuse me. Chew.
Bless you.
That's London for you. And when we're going through the process, all these celebrities kept popping up. So, like you say, there was Boy George and Julian Clary at the village, at the Gay Pride in Manchester. And we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could contact them and see if they'd write something for the book? So we did, and they have. So peppered through the book, where they crop up, Paul O'Grady as Lily Savage wrote a beautiful little piece. Boy George, as we've said. Sue Pollard, who
we know Sue. Yes.
Got close and personal with our Sue.
Well, Sue rocked up at the book launch in London last night, which was a great thrill for everybody. So that was just, somebody had asked me if there was any celebrity stories to tell. So I said, well, let me tell you about Sue Pollard and the incident with the Portaloo, which did bring some laughs, but you know.
So what was the incident with the Portaloo? We need to know.
Oh, I can't tell you that. But it was backstage at Pride in Manchester when it was in Sackville, in the days when it was in Sackville Park in the early 90s.
Oh yes, yeah.
And there was Portaloo backstage, and Sue went to the Portaloo, but when she came out, it was like she fell over her own feet. So she sort of half stumbled, half bounded out, trying to make it look graceful. But the only problem was she was like the Andrex puppy. She had got the toilet roll attached to her shoe. So she was trexing across the backstage area, trying to adjust herself and stand up straight while dragging a whole roll of toilet roll behind her. So it was,
you've done that before.
I've done that many a time, yeah. I mean, it is. The 90s was such a wonderful time, wasn't it, really? It was just brilliant party times. It was a time of, just enjoying it. Well, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, because when you look through the pictures of it, obviously, even as someone who didn't grow up through that era of what it was like in queer culture, it invokes so many emotions through it. And the way that you've come across with it, you've clearly found some images that people are probably going to sit there and go, I remember that happening.
Oh, I've had loads of comments like that. So when I'd scanned the photographs, I thought, what will I do with them now? So I thought, I'll be lazy. I'll just set up an Instagram account because some people might want to see what they looked like. And you get those comments, oh my God, what was I wearing? Look at my hair. I had hair. You get all of those. And then people sharing the sadder stories about loved ones that they've lost. And I've had a few people who've contacted me and and shared stories and that I've shared photographs that they haven't got of loved ones that they've lost. So there was the whole gamut of things. The funniest one was somebody who'd been following the Instagram for months, and they said, "Finally, I've been following this account for months. At last, somebody I've shagged."
and why not?
Of course.
Finally, it's good to reminisce.
It is.
Well,
it is.
absolutely. At least they can remember them. You know.
You're doing the launch at New York, aren't you, this week?
Yes,
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Friday night at the New York Bar in Manchester. So there will be copies of the book available, and a lot of people who live in Manchester area are coming to pick up their pre-orders.
Yeah.
So it should be a really good night. Emma Goswell from BBC Radio Manchester is coming along to do a Q&A. So it should be good fun.
It's going to be marvellous, and we look forward to that. And so that's New York. What time?
Oh, you have to ask me. I think it's about 8 o'clock.
What time?
I think it's at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. There we go. 8 p.m. New York. A wonderful night out. I've really enjoyed flicking through this book. I've really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that people should fully get engrossed in if they were around in the 90s, or indeed if they want to remember what the 90s was. One final question, Stuart. Do you think if you were to take pictures of the club scene these days, it would be as enticing and exciting for people?
I'm not sure. I mean, the scene has evolved and it's changed, hasn't it? You know, and back in those days, there was no mobile phones. People these days, they want to use all the different apps to make themselves look young and beautiful like me. And and I think people are a bit more self-conscious. But the publications aren't there to publish them either. In those days, the pictures, there was no internet. You know, the pictures went in the magazines and the newspapers, and that was part of the joy of it. You know, this today the pictures are instant, aren't they? You know, you take a picture and you can look at the picture instantly. In those days, I took your picture in March, and you might not see it until May in a magazine, by which time you're quite keen on seeing it, you know. So, but now it's more instant, and I'm not sure what that situation would be. But I don't know if you've noticed in the pictures how things have changed, because people point them out to me all the time, new ones about, oh, there's no fake tans.
Definitely not.
Obviously, there's no mobile phones in the pictures, but there's lots of cans. You know, there's cans of Red Stripe and Breaker in all the pictures.
And very little posing as well, which is fantastic.
Very little posing, and very few tattoos.
True, very true. Well, there's a thought to ponder on. Yeah. We're out of time for now, Stuart, but thank you so much for joining us today. And the best of luck with this fantastic book. Get behind it, everybody. Out and about with our lovely Stuart Lindon Roads there, everybody. Absolutely fantastic.
On Friday at 8 p.m. at New York.
Oh, you're good, you are, aren't you?
I am.
Go on, do the next link then. Go on.
All right, next up, we have got our Hayley with On the Bar.
Hi, I'm Hayley and welcome to this week's On The Box. How's everyone doing? The first film I would love to recommend is Save the Last Dance. Sarah is a ballerina with huge ambitions, but sadly her mother dies and she has to move away and move in with her dad, who she barely knows. She has to go to a new high school, and there she meets Derek, and Derek helps her to audition for the school of her dreams. There is also Dare Me. That is a series about loyalties and relationships among a cheerleading team. That is on Netflix. And on the 25th of March, the second series of Bridgerton airs. Woo! Can't wait. And also the new film West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's version of West Side Story, is also now out on Disney+. That's it from me. I shall catch you next time. And remember, stronger together. Bye.
Literally, so much going on there,
so
isn't
much,
there?
Always. I'm even getting a call by the sounds of it.
It sounds good, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, it was International Women's Day, wasn't it?
Yesterday was International Women's Day, but we own the whole month.
You own the whole month, indeed, because on Friday, you had, Saturday rather, Is it Saturday? Sunday.
No, Sunday.
Sorry, I'm very distracted by everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh.
It's manic. On Sunday, you did your lovely walk.
Yes, we did our walk for women.
Yeah.
Just over a mile. And it was from Museum of Science and Industry down Deansgate to Cathedral Gardens. Thank you, Greater Manchester Police and the private security that closed the roads for us.
Yeah.
And we had just over 2,000 people. Men, women, children.
Well, we caught it, didn't we? You managed to do a little VT for us, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, because I kind of because I was part of the organising team, but also as well, I put my Your Manchester coat on.
Oh,
yeah. And I went mingling.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at this VT.
Hi, I'm here for Your Manchester Media for Walk for Women. We have had a brilliant turnout. We could not come out here in 2021 for obvious reasons. There were restrictions. 2022, all the community groups, voluntary organisations came together to actually come and do this walk. We heard from the first female leader of the council, Bev Craig, the icon that is Claire Mooney. She basically welcomed the walkers as they came down Deansgate, but the key message is that we still have not got equality, even though it's 103 years since women received, 104 years actually, since women over 30 received the votes. I'm going to get some more interviews. It has been amazing. What do we want? Equality! When do we want it? On my left, you saw her on Wednesday's show, which is Siobhan O'Connor, and a friend of Your Manchester, we have Claire Marie Boggiano.
Hello everyone, good to see you all.
It seems to have gone quickly like a flash.
I think it was a steady pace. We had massive groups there. It was really, really impressive. And the energy along the whole of Deansgate was fantastic. If we weren't along all of Deansgate at one point, we were definitely on over half of it.
And it's different this year as well, because we have kind of merged into the Ukrainian crisis. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I thought it was important to reach out to the Ukrainian women in Manchester to invite them today, so I was really glad to have a representative, and I think it was really appreciated from the lady I spoke to.
It's vitally important.
When we look at these ladies here dancing, they're holding pictures of women and they're telling us the story of how all of these women lost their lives to violence against women.
Yeah.
And whilst we still need to hold pictures like this, there is still so much more for us to do.
So, yeah.
Right.
Hey, it was busy, wasn't it?
Oh. Yeah.
Crikey, it was busy.
Yeah. And do you know what? I ordered the sunshine.
You ordered, and you got it, didn't you, on that particular day? You really did.
Woe betide.
Now, we're joined in the studio now by our lovely Hannah, all the way from the Willow Brewery, who's been doing something very, very special.
Yes.
This to everybody here might just look like, leave it there, that might just look like beer, everybody, to everybody else. However, this is a very special beer, isn't it? Why is it so special, please, Hannah?
Because 8 incredible women came together and brewed it for International Women's Day.
Yes. Now, you're involved in the site, Carol Ann?
Yeah, I was really honoured when they contacted me. Hannah and Toby and the team contacted me to be one of the 8 women to brew the beer from scratch. You know, smelling hops. You're going to tell me off when I say things wrong. Smelling hops and smelling like biscuits or Horlicks or whatever it is. And
malts,
just, all the malts. And it was just
Horlicks, malts.
Well, yeah, I was going, it's like Horlicks, Hannah. But it was absolutely gorgeous, wasn't it? And I was like a kid, wasn't I, around the brewery.
When she was measuring out the salt to go into the beer, you had to put 100 grams in, and she did it by grain.
I was. Like I was making salmon.
100 grains.
So how did you come up with the flavour that you end up going with?
For one thing, what I wanted to create was a beer that you wouldn't stereotypically place with a woman. So it's the generic low ABV. That's not what we wanted to create. We wanted to create something heavy, something dank, something that was going to be, without punny, a bit of a mouthful when you drank it.
Yeah.
So that's what we created. We wanted something that was going to be really juicy but bitter, kind of something that was a bit full.
You can talk about it all day, but there's only one way to do it.
Yeah, sassy strong beer.
So we have to say there's a QR code in here. Now, what happens when you click on the QR code? I think we've got a little an overlay that goes with this as well. What happens when you click on the old little QR code there?
It will take you to a Google Sheet, which will show you about the beer, like what we created, the flavor profile, a little bit of all the different hops that went into it, and then also individual profiles for every single woman that took part.
Should we taste?
Yeah, so I'm on the
Has anybody else tasted this yet, by the way?
Yes, I've drank a lot of it.
I'm not really a big beer drinker, I'll be honest with you, but I'll certainly give this a good go. Cheers.
Smell.
Cheers, love.
Shabba.
Is it mango? Is it guava, lychee?
Oh, that's different.
Oh, that is.
So what's in this? What flavours am I looking for in this thing? Because I'm getting
a bit of passion fruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
high five to you, Flower, for picking out your flavours.
Well, it's not passion fruit, is it?
It's got aspects of passion fruit that are just not written down. So there's 5 different types of hops in there. And each individual hop brings a little bit of something different. So the initial the aroma that you're getting from it, the smell that's coming from the citrus, that will give you the orangey, limey zestiness that you get, and then initially with the taste as well. But then you've also got other hops in there, such as Columbus, the Cascade, the Chinook, that are going to give you the piney, the grapefruit, the lychee, the kind of aromatically exotic fruits. That's the flavour profile there.
Refreshing that. That is, do you know what that is? That's a Sunday morning. Sunday morning. It's a Sunday morning that, you know, when you've been out the night before, but you still want to have a little bit more to drink.
Do you know what? It's a very kind of drink I feel.
Sunday morning in the
al
sunshine.
fresco. Yeah, in the sunshine.
Yeah.
You know, you can sit out somewhere, you can chill in the sun. It's quite refreshing, while also still being heavy, like you say.
It doesn't taste like 6.1.
No. No, if you told me that was 6.1, I'd be about 3 cans and then go, wow.
Well, as I always say to our viewers, if you are thinking about drink driving, make sure you've got a car. Now, this is absolutely lush stuff. I'm very much enjoying this.
Because you've gone with the IPA style for it. What made you want to go with that when you were creating it? Because obviously there's so many different types of beer nowadays.
Well, the IPA style came from the fact that we actually couldn't describe the beer. The beer itself has nuances of like West Coast, East Coast, and very like New Englandy. So when you've got so many aspects of different styles, we just called it an IPA because that's what it is. We didn't want to create a dark beer. We didn't want to create a pink beer or juicy beer. We just wanted something that was a beer that nail on the head, can't go wrong with it.
We did go around and sort of taste from different vats with really dark beer, raspberry sours. We did taste from different vats. That was really hard to do.
My job's really difficult.
I'm waiting for the day when they bring out, because my favourite sweet was always a sherbet dip dab.
Oh,
we've made a sherbet dip dab sour.
I was actually telling
well, why have I not got that here right now with me, please?
We've got gin and tonic saisons. We've got everything.
Yeah, we've got to get down to Red Willow Brewery.
Can we get her back, please? Thank you. We'll send you an empty case if you can just fill it and bring it to us. Where are these available from?
Online shop and in many different places. If you scan the QR code, it actually has a list of every single venue pouring and serving it in can.
It's obviously called I Am Woman as well. Yes, go on. It's your beer, love. You can have
I know, but my throat is a bit.
It's called I Am Woman. What made you really go for that as a term? Because there's so many different, obviously, terminology you can go with.
So we went with I Am Woman. It was a long story with it. Obviously, there's a song recently that came out that's found on social media with the lyrics I Am Woman. We had a lot of people involved with the brew day that had connections to the music industry, so we wanted to follow the sort of musical reference without actually referencing it. And we thought it's very powerful, bold statement like Bish Bash Boss.
That's almost going to be gone soon now. It's that good. Everybody, if you are drinking, make sure you try and go
I Am Woman.
I Am Woman. I Am Woman. Right then.
I'm really proud of that.
I think you should be proud of that as well. It's lovely. It's lovely. And I like the old wrapping on it as well.
Yeah, so the design, going to just quickly say design, we had a chat, didn't we, about making the design so the silhouettes were diverse, so ethnically diverse.
Yeah, I decided that wasn't going to use our graphic designing team. We wanted to do it in-house, so I designed it myself. And Carol Ann came and you helped me with some of the colour choices, making sure that the silhouettes that I used in the image were more diverse, make sure it was more inclusive. And then we also tried to rearrange them a certain way, so when you looked at the can, you saw each one was prominent, that not one overtook the other.
It's fabulous.
Yeah,
it's fabulous. Lovely.
Well, it's absolutely wonderful. I'll keep drinking this whilst we watch Our Lady, Our Lady Coffee on Love, Our Lady Mojo. Joe.
It's Jo Brittany, neurosculpting performance coach, for another minute of mojo. Do you ever find yourself navigating highly charged emotions. Maybe that's anger or frustration, or perhaps you feel very overwhelmed, anxious or worried. If that's the case, you're likely to be stuck in this part of the brain, your midbrain, which you might know of as your fight or flight center. And I have a character who lives there, who can take over inappropriately and not be very helpful at times. And I call him Frankenstein. Now, Frankenstein is actually a life-saving gift when we need him. If our life is under threat or in imminent danger, we need Frankenstein to help us mobilize and take action. So whether that is to genuinely fight for our life or to flee. However, he also gets activated inappropriately, sometimes at the level of our thoughts, and sometimes some of those thoughts are not very helpful. What we really need to do is to calm him down and to access the front of the brain, which I call my Einstein genius. But the problem with Einstein is that he is a bit of a prima donna at times, and he gets tired really, really quickly. But he is the part of the brain that gives us access to things like compassion, to creativity, to problem solving. So we really need to keep him healthy and fuel him with the stuff that he needs. And that includes regular exercise, good sleep, good hydration, and really nutritious food. So a healthy balance of good fats, good protein, and slow release carbohydrate. Check out your diet to make sure you're giving your brain the food it needs to help you navigate daily life more healthily and productively. I'll be back next time for another Minute of Mojo. In the meantime, you can connect with me on my Instagram account, joebritton.mojo.
Hello my lovely weather watchers, and welcome to this week's weather forecast with me, Paul Rudd. And I'm back in my garden this week. It looks sunny today, and there is going to be some sun this week for Manchester, but it's looking like rain as well. And there will be some fog and frost about, so just be careful on those roads and get your cars de-iced in the mornings. Let's check out this week's weather details. Here it comes. Alright, Thursday is looking cloudy with the temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius. Friday is looking like rain with the temperatures of 13 degrees Celsius. Come to the weekend right now, Saturday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 12 degrees Celsius, and Sunday is looking cloudy with the temperatures of 12. And okay, we're getting the sun right now, but it is going to be a bit breezy around the rear, so get nice and warm if you can. And I'm going to leave you right now with this thought. The greater your storm, the brighter your rainbow. Back to the studio right now for this week's brilliant episode of Your Manchester.
There we get that statue for in the studio.
And it's gorgeous inside.
I
like it. It's beautiful. I like a nice gorilla. We have got a marvellous show.
What?
Leave it. Yeah. We've got a lovely show for you next week. I'm not here.
Oh, that's right.
Stu and Carol Ann next week.
So we've got a fantastic show next week.
There you are. Hey, I'm having my first holiday since 2020.
Oh,
can you believe it?
What you got to say?
I'm going skiing.
Going skiing?
Yeah, I like skiing. It's good fun. It's really good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to France doing a bit of skiing. Now, Charlie, you've done very well partaking in today's show, but you need to go over there now, my love, to get yourself ready for your song. Other than that, next week we are celebrating Patrick's Day.
Patrick's Day.
Oh, it's me day.
It's your day, and
it's my day.
You've got loads on the show as well.
I'll have another beer over there.
Well, I'll have it now while we're listening to our Charlie. In the meantime, everybody, thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.
All of your memories have faded away. Do you remember when I told you that I love you. Wish you the best, my dear. Time stopped so still when you weren't ticking anymore. Fragile family has been smashed to bits. Oh, it was you that held us together. Take my breath away so I can see you another day. Hold me like you did back then, when I bumped my head, jumping on the bed. I'll be honest, I want all of this. I'll be honest, I want all of this. My guardian angel, she made everything alright. Problems disappear, you was my light, and it's you barred from existence. And take my breath away so I can see you another day. Hold me like you did back then, when I bumped my head, jumping on the bed. I'll be honest, I want all of this. I'll be honest, I want all of this. 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 So take my breath away so I can see you another day. Hold me like you did back then, when I bumped my head, jumping on the bed. You gave all you had to me in memory. Best friend and mother, always there for me, and it's you. I miss you.